Yo, what's happening?
What's going on, man?
Sure.
My camera
I
was
thought you were going in and
acting.
out there for a second.
Yeah. And I don't know if you could hear me when you was, looking at the charts. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. I know you're looking at it. I honestly thought about it. I was like, okay, I wouldn't typically be looking right now, so no, you're not
No,
gonna be
I
interested
mean,
in
I
this.
wish I would have taken the failed breakdown earlier this morning or earlier this afternoon, but I was walking the dog, so I totally missed all that whole move back up, unfortunately. But
Oh
that's
yeah.
life. I did all right this morning, so I'm not too upset about it. I didn't have like the hugest day, but I'm green enough that I'm not too upset about it. So
I mean, I walked away. Honestly, I would if I was sitting in front of the computer, I would have took that trade too. But
yeah,
a couple things happened. It was after 12, and I was just like, and I walked away at probably about 11:50 when I pretty much knew that trade that I was telling you I was in was good to go.
right.
So it's like, all right, I don't need to do anything else. But I definitely would have took that trade if I would have been sitting.
Well, like we said, it felt like a normal day today. So I mean, we should have known it would rotate back up. I mean, it was. It's a balanced day, clearly,
Yeah,
but it's balanced
clearly.
right at the top of this W that's formed here on the daily. So there's actually a really nice long setup here that we can talk about.
That's what I was looking at right before the open. I'm like, ooh, a
Yep,
nice
yep,
long
yeah,
setting up right now. That's what I was
yep,
saying. Don't do it. Don't do it.
yep. Well, we're popping above the top of that W right here at 55.38. So we're coming back
Mm-hmm.
above it there. So you can give yourself a nice little stop there at 51.26. You know, if you start to get a little run up, like this is how I usually I'll do this on the 1 minute. If it runs up, like I'll do a 1-to-1 first target. If it
Mm-hmm.
runs up 50%, then I'll keep that stop right there at 126. But say it doesn't get to that 50% and it only goes like 30% up or something, I'll actually move the stop up to halfway. You know what I mean? And I'll take a quicker out than that way. These are breakout plays essentially, so you can do that, and that's a great way to increase your risk reward on these things. So this is a really easy setup. It's one of my favorite setups, to be honest with you. So here it is. So we're coming above that. We had the breakout candle here on the 24th. So we kind of broke above the W there. Then we had the next continuation, which sort of went a little bit higher. And then today we sort of chopped around, but we still peaked out above it. We one time, like we didn't take out the low from Friday or anything. So, this still looks pretty bullish, honestly, no matter what you hear on the news. The chart says, this is probably a buy at this point. I mean, it could change. Like I said, if we don't get any kind of on these breakout plays, you want to see volume coming in right away. You want to see them sort of pushing up. You want to see everybody else sort of jumping on board with you, as fast as possible. This is going a little slower than I would like to see because, we had the breakout on Thursday. Friday would have been preferable that we started to push up a little bit higher, but it's still a decent play and a decent shot to make, I think, at least in my opinion. And I think you agree from what I'm hearing.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, of course, it's just a little late in the day for it. If this was, earlier, it would.
Yeah, this
I would
isn't a day
definitely.
trade. This is not a day trade that I'm talking about. This would be more for the long. This is our daily chart here, so this would be
Yeah.
more of a longer term. Maybe a couple weeks. I mean, who knows if it starts going, it can go. It can go to infinity for all we know. So then at that point, you just start trailing the stops up like we always do.
Pretty
Same shit,
much.
just on a different time frame. That's all it is, man. It's the same
Yep.
pattern set up everywhere. Now we're just seeing it start set up right here on the daily. So it is into that. We already retested the little zone here that we had, and it tried to sell. You can see it sold off a little bit, and then that's what formed our W, and boom, we're coming back up. So, I think you could get an easy 1-to-1, up to this 58.25, if it starts to go. If we get above that, then, it's probably also the races, to be honest with you. I think we can get back over that 58.44. People are really going to start getting back into it and kind of feeling like the worst is over, I guess. Again, it may not be over. This could be a bear market rally for all we know, but, you got to play the odds and, the best setups possible. And this is one of the best setups, in my opinion, possible right here. So on a daily, which is rare. You don't see these. You see these maybe once a month, something like that. You don't see these a lot on the daily. So here it is. So if anybody's looking for more of a swing type trade on the ES, you got it right now. so jump in. Um, let's do we want to set some levels? We'll kind of go with those.
Let's definitely set some levels here.
Yeah. I know the day's not done yet, but we'll still have a look here. Let's go out to the 2-hour charts. So we had the fake breakout higher, and then we also had the fake breakdown. So this was a pure balance day. And you could really play both those. Both those levels were decent. They ran through a wee little bit, but then they came right back down, or right back up for both of them. So for tomorrow, obviously, we'll zap this guy out. We'll look at the peak of today. So I have the 55.78 will be the high side area that we're watching. And then up above there, you're going to have our little retest area, which I don't think is going to be super big there. It is a 5,600 area. So we'll probably get a little selling around there. But I don't think that'll hold it down completely. Then we'll come back up here. We got the 56.75. Could be another retest area where it might start to sell off a little bit tomorrow. Again, these are completely separate trades from the daily type trade that we just talked about. So we're looking on shorter term stuff. Down, which we got. Honestly, I won't play this one because the consolidation area, the low of the big consolidation is 54. And that's probably the key level on the downside for the next few days at least. If we lose that, we got all these days or all these hours that have been kind of packed in here. We lose that level there. We got a lot of ammo in here, so it starts to sell off a little bit. But we start to lose that level. Probably heading back down. Short term, once again. Flip side, if we get above, we have 1, 2. That's our third peak at the top here, where we sort of sold off. So this would be the fourth time that we can do it. This is very, very weak here. So the odds of us blowing through there are fairly high now. Nothing's guaranteed, but there's definitely some potential there on both of those levels. So I'm actually going to take this 92 out. I don't even want to distract me tomorrow. It'll be 54.80 that I'll be looking at. Let's look on the 30. I didn't think there'd be anything else there. There's not. You maybe argue 55.17. I know I've seen a lot on X being posted about the 55.15 level. So that could get a little bit of play, maybe for a little short burst down if you're looking for something there. Not something I'm interested right now. Maybe tomorrow morning, we'll see how the nighttime plays out. Maybe we'll go down there during the night and bounce or something. We'll see a clearer low there. But for now, I think I'm going to leave that one off. What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a level. Now, am I interested in playing it? I you know what I mean? Like I would need a couple other things to line up for me to say, okay.
Yeah, what I would like to see is it maybe tonight, we sort of chop around here, we come down there again, bounce again, you know what I mean, and start to see it clear, like sort of making it more clear that is you can see the level there, but it's not sticking out like a sore thumb right now. I love those ones that you can look at, 5 seconds, there's a level there, like you're not thinking about it or anything like that. Right. So I think the overnight session is going to be pretty critical. What we're going to do here next. But the big levels are obviously going to be the high from today and then the low of that consolidation area for me. If we bust through that 54.80 to the downside, we do have the 54.42 that hasn't really got a bounce from it yet. And that's an old breakout area here from the 24th. So, you could see a little bit of a bounce there. So that would probably be a decent target then at that point. Then we have another little breakout level down here. It's on a 30-minute chart level, so it's not as strong as this 2-hour one, but you can still get a little bit of bounce there. And it's at the 5,400 area too, so you get that century mark, so you kind of get a little run from there as well. So that's sort of what I'm looking at for ES, at least as of this moment at 341. Anything could happen here in the next half hour that sort of blows that out of the water. But at this stage right now, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Want to move on to oil or gold?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. We'll go oil next. It's right there. So obviously, we had a big breakdown here of our large consolidation zone that we talked about for weeks there when we were coming on regularly. It did break down. Now we're coming back up. We just pretty much retested it there. If you look at it, it was on Wednesday. So it's sort of peeling off of that a little bit. You could probably make a little argument for the low for today to be something. We'll go into the granular view here in a second, but on the daily, we would need to get back above probably 66 to start to get really bullish again. Can make an argue for 65, I guess. If you get back over 65, you're probably getting bullish again. But I would prefer it to go down a little bit more, test maybe the top of this zone, make a higher low, and then come back up. That would probably be the best look for me. I don't like the V-bottom breakouts as much as I like the double bottom breakouts or double bottom recoveries. So that's sort of what I'm thinking on the daily. If you're trying to play this for a swing, you could wait for the low from today to get taken out again, jump in. You could have a stop then at the top, right around 65. Then you could ride it down, to the 50, I'd say 57, 58 area easily. You could get your first target there and then see what happens from there. That's kind of how I'd play a swing on that. Thoughts on that?
No, that sounds good. It's crazy. I was looking at gold. And I was like, oh, man, that low, I had a level right there, and that would have been a nice gold trade. The break of 61.99, and then between 61.48 area, 61.50 actually. But
yep. Let's zoom in a little. We'll go see that. So I've done nothing to this chart today, so let's see. We'll take this little caution area out. We got our overnight low right here. We could look for a little retest. That I think it sort of got retested.
Mm-hmm.
2 hour. It did kind of get a retest, but not like a good clean one. So I wouldn't be shocked if we come back up, sort of test that from below. And that's sort of the area that you're talking about right there. This was our consolidation low today, so it tried to break it. I think if it breaks it again, we'll get a nice spill then. You got a lot of volume that's probably built up, throughout here. We did sort of a megaphone type pattern here. I'll show you what I say megaphone.
Did you trade oil at all today?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yep.
I
so you see how it's sort of like making the higher lows, higher highs. They call this a megaphone. See how it's opening up basically.
Yep.
It looks like a megaphone that you're talking into. So that's what it's referred to when we say megaphone. Honestly, I hate when they megaphone because those are some of the toughest things to trade. Honestly, when you're trading breakouts, but it's just kind of part of the deal, unfortunately. So. As far as levels of interest, obviously our 61.48, which will be our new consolidation low. We have our retest here, the 62.57, which isn't the greatest area ever, but you could maybe argue to fade this area once it gets up there. As far as 30-minute, I think we should probably mark this little area where we started. Whoops. Graphic. We should mark this little area where it actually sold off from today. So 63.21. So that you could get a little resistance at that area. If we come up through, we got 63.50s sort of going there. So it'll get a little messy probably in this area. So you probably could get a decent little fade off of that, especially since we're sort of a downtrend. Again, we're in a consolidation, so it's not a clean downtrend or anything like that. Other level of interest as of this moment would be this high here at 62.10. I don't think I would play it, but maybe overnight you could make an argument for it. If we weren't in a consolidation area, I'd probably have a little bit more faith in this little spot. But if you wanted to play,
that's tough.
Tonight, you know what I mean? If you're really looking for a trade tonight, that would probably be it. Unless we lose the low, that would probably be your two options for the nighttime trade, in my opinion. We break that and then come up to test, do the retest here. So you could get a decent little trade off of that probably. Did you have any other levels on gold or oil that you're looking at?
I kind of have, I think one. I think you got it. 60. Oh, yeah, you got it. My bad.
60-44? Yeah, that's a big one, actually. That's a big one.
I had to look. I'm like, oh, yeah, you got that. Okay.
Yeah, so if we lose this consolidation area, then we got the 60-44 that's sitting down there, and that was the last little bounce zone on the 2 hour. So that could definitely become important once we get down that low, but it's a little ways off. You're talking.
I mean, it's a little ways.
Yeah,
but I mean, oil is starting to kind of pick up its movement a little bit. So you never know. That is a
Yep.
I mean, but today we had great movement with oil. I didn't trade at all, but
that was
definitely has a nice range.
Yep, that was one of my better ones today. The short on ES was my big one for today, and I missed the long on ES, which would have been even bigger, unfortunately.
That's the one I was really hoping for to happen this morning. Was the test of the lows. Pushed back up, but we went to the test of the highs.
Did the high test and then went down. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much oil for the day. We'll look at those areas there. Let's look at gold a little bit.
My baby.
Shiny metal. All right, so we are just driving higher still, man. So for months and months, basically, here we're on the daily. It's pretty clean too. We've had limited pullbacks here. We've just sort of tested that breakout area now. On the daily, you can make a really good argument now for this level right here at 33.96. When we come back above that, you're probably at least going to get a nice run up to 35 area. So, I mean, you're talking $100 there, which is pretty good. At minimum, with NFX driving higher, you're good to go. Obviously, we want to mark the all-time high here. It just keeps moving and moving and moving.
Yeah, my trail failed me on this one. Because
this one
won't go. I mean, it was great. It was a great trade, but I mean, just looking at where it is, because I got in at the 3303.4. That I have a level right. Was this 3302.7? So I had a level there, and I got long. I'm on the 30 minute, so
okay. Yep. There we go.
And so I got long there, and I trailed it, having another level at the 3316 area, which is where I first peeled out. But then, of course, it broke that level.
Yep.
But
right here.
But then on the next candle, that pullback, it got me out there. If I was paying attention, if I would have been, because I think I went and used the bathroom or something, and came back, and I was stopped out. I was like, ah.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, but I mean, when you walk away, you want to make sure that it doesn't turn. So that's typically when I put the trail on. And so I got stopped out there. I mean, still big trade, but
oh yeah, absolutely.
Could have been even bigger.
So I think let's go 30 here for a second. Let's have a look at this. Obviously the 33.96 and 32.70. That's sort of our bracket of this little consolidation zone that we're in now. So those are your big major ones, right here.
Yep.
And then we have our zones that are inside. We could get a little retest back to the 3350 maybe for a bounce. We also have a little breakout area here, that 3313, which is like your 3316 that you were just talking, same area basically. We could get a little bounce there. If this fails and wants to go a little bit lower. It is in the chop zone right now, until we get above that 3396. So, it could go anywhere at this point inside of here. So you just got to be cautious with it. Trail your stop tight. Take targets as they come to you. Don't get too greedy until we get above, this 3396. And you can probably get a little bit greedy. Keep your stops a little bit looser than at that point. Try to ride the wave then at that point. But it's tactical trading, in my opinion, as long as we're inside of this consolidation zone. So that's sort of how I'm looking at it. At least for the next day, you never know. Tonight could pop big time. It's been loving the run up at nighttime for gold. So I don't know if that pattern will continue or not, but about 9 o'clock every night for the past week or so, it seems to be taking off and then going for the most part. So I don't usually trade at night, so I've missed all. I know you've hit a lot of those, but
yeah. As soon as it breaks the level, and I don't play the breakout like that all the time, quite the same way. But honestly, if you don't, it's just like, hey, I just got a tight stop. Because if you don't, it's gonna be hard to catch it. Because it literally, once it booms, it just busts up. Next thing you know, it's up 10, 11 points, and you're like,
exactly. And then after it does that, then it just goes into these chop modes for the next few hours. So if you miss the move, then you're in the choppy crap. And that's what the day has been mostly for gold, is just not the greatest trading conditions because it runs so much at night. So a lot of times if you see something consolidate overnight, that's when you get the good run in the daytime, and then vice versa.
Yeah. But today it actually did pretty solid today as far as going up. So.
Oh yeah. But
today
it was choppy last night. Like if you look at
choppy last night, and
we didn't really have nothing happened. So it was, and even this morning it was a little bit choppy. It was sort of trying to find its way, but once it started going, it went. So gold's been great, man. It's been a fun ride so far with gold this year, and I imagine it will continue. We shall see. So
we shall see.
Let's
that trade on ES. It's popping up now.
Yeah. We're about to break. Oh, we did break it. Yep. The old high there, so we're back above. So yeah, this thing's probably going to run up here a little bit from the looks of it. This last 15 minutes or so. It sucks that I missed it.
That's what I'm saying. I honestly thought about it. I was like, I should take this. But then I'm like, but if we weren't doing this, I wouldn't be looking right now.
No, me either. I'm usually done looking at noon. So if whatever's happening after that, sometimes I'll come back around 2 and look again. But the trading conditions between 11:30 and 2 o'clock are horrendous 9 times out of 10. Honestly, like the last month, that's been a decent moving spot. But in typical market conditions, that is not the best time to trade. To get any kind of trend move, and that's what you're looking for is a trend. You want movement behind you, and you don't usually get it during those time frames. So I take those times to do other things around the house, work out, mow the lawn, do all that fun stuff basically during lunchtime. So
yeah, definitely went to the gym.
Yeah, I think maybe tomorrow I can kind of go through like what a trend looks like as it continues, and we can sort of talk about trailing stops and how I move them up. And I think you do it almost the exact same as me. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit, because we've been talking about trailing stops here some today. So maybe we can sort of give a little demo of how that sort of works. It's really not hard, but we'll show it so at least folks have an idea of what we're talking about on it.
Another thing I guess we probably should put in the thought process is indicators. So I was asked about an indicator I don't use. I don't know if you use it, but I mean, I know what it is, but I don't use it. Orb. You use Orb?
I do not. Nope. I don't. Honestly,
someone
I don't
asked
really
me, like,
use
hey,
that.
have you used that? Is it?
Yeah, I don't really use any indicators, to be honest with you. Like I will, like I have RSI down here at the bottom, and I'll pay a wee little bit of attention to it, like when we're getting overbought and oversold. You know, I keep it in the back of my mind, but like I never base any trading decisions whatsoever off of it. You know what I mean? I'm just aware of it. You know what I mean? I have no setups that are based off of RSI, you know, or stochastics or anything like that. To each their own, though. You know what I mean? Like if it works for you, use it. I just don't personally use it. That's all. You know, I know a lot of people that do, and there are a lot of successful traders that use stuff like that. Especially in more consolidating markets, you know, the RSI is really good. It's much better than when you're trending, because when you're trending, like here's a great example. Like we got overbought, like right here at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday the 24th, and we just kept driving higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. You know what I mean? Like the RSI did nothing. But now if you look today, which was more of a consolidation day, we got overbought, and boom, we came back up. And same thing, we got oversold, and boom, we came down. So I think personally they work better in consolidating markets than trend markets.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really use that indicator too much. I've read about it a little bit. I'm just not really. I haven't found a lot of great setups that you can base off of them. I think price levels are much stronger, in my opinion, and looking for those consolidation areas and where people are right and wrong.
I mean, yeah, I feel the same way because I'm basic like that too. The only thing at the bottom of my chart is ATR and DMI. You know,
I got ATR too. Yep. ATR, yeah, average true range. So that basically is a good indicator of how volatile the market is.
Right. Just kind of helps with my stops and targets.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep, absolutely.
You know,
you can get that good feel for volatility. You know what the average candle is moving. You know, for those times, I use a five candle ATR usually for mine. Some people like use 14. I like to have it a little quicker. Actually, all my stuff's 5. Even my RSI is 5.
Mine's 14.
Yep.
Yeah, mine's 14.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much the standard one. I like the speed. I like to see it react a little faster, I guess. Especially if you're looking like a 30-minute chart for day trading. You know, if you're going back 14, you're going back a couple days, you know, a couple sessions then at that point. Where 5, you're only going back a few hours. You know what I mean? You're going back, 2.5 hours, basically. So you're looking at the ATR for the last 2.5 hours. So for me, being a short-term day trader and I trade off the minute chart, you trade off the 30-minute chart. So here's one of our trading differences. With my shorter-term stuff that I'm doing, it makes more sense for me to have shorter-term ATRs, shorter-term RSIs, and stuff like that. So that's why I do it. Did we have any kind of requests or anything to look at any other charts?
Yeah, that was definitely something that was requested. You know, indicators. What indicators do you guys use? And I'm like, when it comes to indicators, I'm the wrong person because I'm not really.
Yeah, and honestly, when I first started trading, like I dove into them and I was trying all of them, but I just could not get much consistency.
I mean, you even got me. The only one I ever really, used to a certain fibs. Well,
those aren't even really indicators. Those are
right, and that's not even really.
Yeah. Yep.
Measuring tools, but yeah. So I'm not.
Yep. Me either. I'm not really an indicator guy. But price levels, man. It's all about price levels and finding consolidation zones and waiting for price to break out of those zones or fail back into those zones. That's essentially my trading style.
It's simple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's simple. It works for me, and I'm going to stick with it and ride that wave until the wheels fall off.
All right.
All right. Well, good deal. I guess we can call this one a podcast then for today. And got me personally getting my feet back wet. It's been a little while. I've been out with my kids in sports, all kinds of stuff going on. I know your kids are pretty active right now too. It's springtime. We got baseball, softball, track, all that fun stuff that's happening. So I know we haven't been on here consistently like we'd like to, but hopefully we can pick that back up at least a few times a week. I think that's realistic here going forward. So high school baseball season's winding down, so I'm definitely going to have some more availability. So hopefully we're going to get on here more consistently, get you guys out some more content, keep the price levels coming, hopefully teach you guys some trading, get you guys making some money.
There we go.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Now for the awkward 10-second ending.
Right. And while you got